Whenever I talk about Final Fantasy XIV with someone who isn't familiar with the game yet, the first thing I always mention is how friendly the player base is. Final Fantasy XIV is always praised for its supportive community. A majority of the player base is so welcoming to new players and they are happy to help. This friendly and non-toxic environment is actually one of the reasons why some people choose Final Fantasy XIV over other MMORPGs. It's actually why I stick with this game too. It's a great comfort game for me, and even though MMORPGs have a bad reputation when it comes to its player base, when I compare it to other MMORPGs I played in the past, I would say I feel more comfortable while playing and engaging with other players in Final Fantasy XIV. This game has been such a breath of fresh air for me after what I've seen in the past. However, even in this supportive environment, some slimy, old-school, narrow-minded mindset and misogyny still exist. It unfortunately does. That is what I wanted to talk about in this video, because recently this somehow turned into a really slimy, really icky discourse. There were some women who decided to open up about their bad experiences in this game and they received backlash for it. And seeing the reaction from some other FF14 creators, it was really distasteful. I won't dive too deeply into this out of respect to these people who were speaking out. Most of the experiences they shared, they were deeply personal, and I don't want to talk about other people's personal experiences in my video without their permission. Not everything on the internet needs to be turned into content and be milked for attention, especially when it's about other people's personal lives. But seeing how distasteful this whole discourse became and seeing all those awful reactions on the internet, I just wanted to talk about it and at least add a smidge of positivity to this whole situation, I guess. If you are a woman on the internet, you probably know what I'm talking about too. You've been there, you've been in the trenches. Harassment and misogyny online is not a new thing. It's unfortunately a universal experience for us, which I hate, by the way. I've been playing FF14 for a really long time, and there's a reason why I didn't want to get into endgame raiding until recently. Because of my previous bad raiding experiences in other games, I've been really reluctant to get into raiding again. Sometimes I call it raid PTSD jokingly, but some of the things I've seen, some of the things I've witnessed, it's genuinely awful. The way women are treated and scrutinized in some groups, not all of them by the way, it's repulsive. I've seen some raid groups who don't accept women into their groups because relationships cause drama, which is a huge self-report by the way. Why is the first thing you think about is a relationship when you're talking to a woman? You are playing a video game together, that's it, that's about it. I had many creeps who tried to slide into my DMs and tried to flirt with me even though I was raiding with my at that time boyfriend. I've seen some people do really wild things when they got rejected. I've seen people starting disgusting rumors just to take revenge. I met serial cheaters who flirted with multiple women at the same time, who lied to their faces and treated the game almost like a dating simulation. What bothers me the most is when women speak about their bad experiences like these. There are some really slimy, some mousy people who blame them for believing in their lies in the first place. It all boils down to you should have known better, you should have protected yourself better, saying it takes two hands to clap, victim blaming, showing not a speck of compassion to those people who are talking about very personal stuff. Now, stuff like these don't happen too often, but whenever it happens, it's not very spoken about out of fear of people's responses. Now, the question that started this whole discourse was, why don't we have more women applying for World Race or who are into endgame raiding? Because you bet your sweet cheeks they've been in the trenches before. Endgame raiding in most MMORPGs, it's been treated like a big boys club since forever. And even though things are different now, even though raiding scene is better and more welcoming than, let's say, 10 years ago, there are so many women who tested the waters and got burned by it. And honestly, it's really understandable that they don't want to jump into the same ocean they drowned in before. And considering how some of the biggest raiders and content creators for Final Fantasy XIV are boasting about their toxicity, making it sound like a virtue and creating this really awful environment, I imagine there are some people who see this and think the entire raiding community is like this and get repelled by it, which couldn't be further from the truth. The voices that are toxic always ring the loudest, and that's why we hear them the most. There are some really nice people and women who are really into endgame raiding. There are some girlies I play with who are scarily good at this game. They just don't like putting themselves out there on the internet because they don't feel comfortable. You guys have no idea how unhinged some of the comments I get under my YouTube videos, even though I just mind my own business. I don't blame them for not wanting to be out there. It screws with your mind, these comments. Some people act wild just for the sake of acting wild on the internet. And I don't like the mindset of of calling this the norm. I really don't like when people pull out the same stinky line from between their ass cheeks and say, you won't survive a moment in the Burning Crusade times. Yeah, because content was great, but people were awful to each other during Burning Crusade times. People were calling each other slurs as a little treat during Burning Crusade times. I get people missing the content from those times, but is this really the time on the internet we want to go back to? If your answer is yes, you probably have a humiliation fetish, you just haven't discovered it yet. You just want to get yelled at by other people. I'm not judging these people at all. I just need them to realize this is not what everyone else is expecting whenever they are playing a video game. Final Fantasy XIV is a game so popular among women and LGBTQ people. If these people are reluctant to join certain groups or communities, there's probably a reason to it. People don't want to exist in spaces they don't feel welcome in. Why would you want to stay in a place where you are treated awfully? If what we really want is a diverse environment where everyone feels comfortable in, then we need to create that environment first. On a brighter note, I just recently started in-game raiding in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone this expansion. I've been streaming almost non-stop on Twitch while learning these new fights, and I don't even have a static right now. I cleared the first tier in Party Finder. It's been spicy, it's been fun. It's been an enlightening adventure for me. I have a video coming up about it very soon. I was honestly really reluctant too because of the bad experiences I mentioned earlier. I really didn't want that whole negativity in my life again. I was determined to stay as a mid-core player for so many years. I only did extreme trials on the first week, but I'm so glad I gave it a try. It's so fun and it's so addicting. If you like challenge, if you like testing your own limits, it's something you really should give a try. And honestly, this first Savage tier in Don't Chill, it's been so welcoming to new raiders like me. I don't have much to compare it to, but I heard it's so much easier than other raids. So it's actually a great time if you want to get into raiding too. When I got into raiding in this game, people were so nice and so helpful to me, even though I was clueless. I have personally been there. I've experienced it myself firsthand as a brand new raider in this expansion, so I can confirm for sure, even though the loudest noises in the raiding community these days can sound pretty toxic at times, this doesn't reflect the whole truth. There are still some people out there who love helping out new raiders like me, and there are still some people out there who are respectful and friendly and overall good support. So don't get intimidated, give it a try, and honestly keep an eye on each other. If the goal here really is to create a safe environment for women, for LGBTQ+, or anyone really, then we can't let this shit fly. Don't just expect people to take care of themselves, but also take care of each other. This was a topic I wanted to talk about for a long time now, and here we are. Thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you so much for listening to me. And I'm actually curious about your experiences in this game. There is unfortunately a lot of toxicity in MMORPGs, but there's also good stuff too. That's why we always come back to it. Feel free to share your own experiences in FF14, good or bad, down below in the comment section. Thank you again for watching my video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And with a special thanks to my channel members who support this channel. Thank you so much, guys. It means so much to me. As always, I love your guts, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay cozy!